Hello, my name is Michael Cunningham, and I am a high school teacher, the director of the Global Scholars Diploma Program for the World Affairs Council of Austin, the director of the Virtual Educide Museum, a historian, and most importantly, a person of Armenian descent. It is in this first and last capacity that I am addressing you today. Armenian, that is right, and I did not learn that my relatives came from Armenian until I was almost 27 years old. At that time, my wife and I were expecting the birth of our triplet daughters. I wanted to know more about my roots, so I could share it with my children. I started researching my family's history and discovered that my ancestors were from Armenia. I was so proud to learn this and felt more connected to my heritage. I really do not know what shocked us more, the birth of the triplets or the fact that my family came from Armenia. In either case, they both changed my life forever. My heritage has encouraged me to recently complete my master's degree in Armenian history from Armenian Virtual College. I am passionate about sharing the history and culture of my homeland with the world. I am currently working on a project to create a digital archive of Armenian artifacts and literature. My goal is to make our heritage more accessible and to inspire a new generation of Armenians. Whether you were born of Armenian parents or, like me, are of Armenian heritage, we cannot help but think of the many Armenian martyrs during the later part of the Ottoman Empire. For many of us, the concept of the Armenian genocide began on April 24, 1915, but the question before us today is not when it began but where and when will it end. That is right, where did it end? When did it end? Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you in no uncertain terms and with a serious tone, that the Armenian genocide did not stop in 1923. It is going on right here and right now. On December 12, 2022, almost 100 years after the supposed end of the genocide, the country of Azerbaijan blocked the only road to the Republic of Artsakh, cutting off supplies to this country. This action was seen as an act of aggression and only heightened tensions between the two countries. The international community condemned Azerbaijan for its actions and called for an immediate end to the blockade. This blockade was meant as a punishment for Artsakh's refusal to recognize Azerbaijan as the legitimate governing power, lasted for almost a year. During this time, the Artsakh people suffered severe shortages of food, medicine, and other essential supplies. This is genocide pure and simple, and the reason why more people do not know about this is a word I coined in my master's thesis. Let us look at what happened a little over 100 years ago and why it is important today. We will look at why we do not know where or why it ended. To do this we will look at the standard, we will use the word educide. Educide is a term that was first proposed to be used in a new and different format by me in my thesis for my master's degree from Agbu Armenian Virtual College, 2023, entitled, The United States Foreign Policy Vis-a-vis the Ottoman Empire/Turkey, Armenia, and the Armenian Genocide 1915-1923, a critical analysis. Instead of applying educide as the killing of academics, I created a new definition. Educide is the rewriting of history or changing education. This rewriting or changing of education is done to control the narrative and to ensure certain people remain in power. Educide is used to limit access to education and to discredit or suppress certain ideas or beliefs. Hence, this created a genocide of history or education itself in a real theoretical sense. Here, historians, politicians, and the media have changed how we are taught, what we are taught, why we are taught, when we are taught, and through this faulty teaching we are taught what to think. By changing these factors and controlling the process of history or the process of education, they are in effect creating educide, the genocide of education. Now educators and scholars can describe the destruction of education as a tool for genocide. It is the deliberate and systematic destruction of educational institutions, teachers, and students as a means of erasing a particular group's culture, history, and knowledge. Educide is a form of cultural genocide that targets a group's intellectual and cultural heritage. This was pointed out by the State of Texas Coordinator of Holocaust and Genocide Education J. E. Wolfson, in an address at Del Valle High School in April 2019, when he stated, "The study of genocide is about the egregious assaults on human life as well as telling the truth. It is no accident that genocidal regimes take control of mass killings and they also take control of educational systems." Mr. Wolfson was in effect pointing out the exact words that Mr. Cunningham came out with later to define this act of control. Today, in the mainstream media, you will hear that Artsakh is not a country, it is a breakaway province of Nagorno-Karabakh of the country of Azerbaijan. However, nothing can be further from the truth. As a descendant of people who were Armenian that lived in Artsakh, spoke Armenian, attended the Armenian Apostolic Church, and fought to keep Artsakh a free country, I will share with you 7 facts that you will not see in many history books or will be told to you by the press. The reason you will not see them is that they are the 7 pillars of Aduside. First, the Azeris people came to the Baku region with the migration of the other Turkish groups, thousands of years after the Armenians had settled in Artsakh. Therefore, the land they came to was at one time in the possession of the Armenians. Second, when the Russian Empire collapsed in October/November 1917, the Soviet Communist Party took over and signed a 1918 peace treaty with Germany to end their involvement in World War I. Russia pulled out of Anatolia and could no longer protect the areas that were part of its former empire. This caused a huge power vacuum in the area of the Caucasus. Third, on October 30, 1918, the Ottoman Empire asked for an armistice with Western powers so they could get a ceasefire and stop their involvement in World War I. Fourth, the West and the Ottoman Empire agreed in 1920 to the Treaty of Sevres. This peace treaty signed by the official Ottoman government created Armenia, which included a large area of Western Anatolia and the area of Artsakh. Fifth, a rebel portion of the Ottoman Empire did not like this treaty and declared war on Armenia to take back their land. Sixth, this rebel group, under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal, invaded the area that was going to be part of Armenia and illegally stole it from a sovereign country. Kemal at this time was still a rebel, he had no official capacity to negate the Treaty of Sevres, invade Armenia, or enter into any agreements with the Soviet Union. Seventh, in effect, Kemal allowed the USSR the ability to have a free hand in taking over parts of the old Russian Empire. In exchange for materials, weapons, and support, the Turks were content to let Armenians, Georgians, and Azeris be the problem of the USSR. This was very important because the Azeris would control the very large oil field around their capital, Baku. The Russians would make Artsakh part of Azerbaijan. Now, does this sound like a breakaway province to you? Does this sound like a legitimate country that has a legal argument for their existence? Can the same be true for both Turkey and the Azeris? Did the Turks originally own the land they are living on now? Where were they the first to own the land? Did they ever pay for the land that they took from others? Actually, you do not have to go back 1,000 years to ask these questions. Just go back 100 years. Did the Ottoman Empire ask for a ceasefire? Did the Ottoman Empire sign the peace treaty? Did the Ottoman Empire accept responsibility for the war? Realizing that Turkey today claims that they are not the Ottoman Empire, they have just proved my point exactly. Since they are not the Ottoman Empire, they did not have a right to negate the Treaty of Sevres, nor did they have the ability to wage war against Armenia in 1920. Therefore, Artsakh is not a breakaway province. It is a legal entity with close ties to Armenia. It is the other parties to this conflict that broke away and illegally tore up the Treaty of Sevres, 1920. It is with this knowledge in mind that I would like to bring up why this is so important today.